I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the big exciting elements of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker has to do with the return of some legacy characters, like of course Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and even Palpatine in some way, shape, or form. That's really going to be used as a way to move the plot and story forward from start to finish. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really intriguing about Episode 9 is that we do know that, of course, Disney and Lucasfilm are using this movie as a foundation to create new Star Wars content for the future, as well as, of course, doing a very unique story that's going to wrap up the entire Skywalker saga and fill in the gaps in between the events of Episode 6 and 7, you name it. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the big plans by Disney and Lucasfilm, and what's rather unfortunate for Mark Hamill, this is where things begin to get very intriguing. Now, specifically, it's described that during the rewrites of the film, during the months of November and December of 2018, just late last year, is when both George Lucas and J.J. Abrams were adjusting the film's second and third acts that would reflect on some of the key characters, where it's explained that one of the key scenes in the form of a flashback that was planned for Mark Hamill, that was fully written and even partially shot, was a glimpse into young Ben Solo, no older than 10 years old, looking up to his uncle Luke Skywalker as a Jedi, where his father Han Solo did not approve of that idea of him becoming a Jedi. It's explained that the scene from Mark Hamill that was ultimately cancelled and scrapped and put to the wayside involved a de-aged Mark Hamill as a younger version of Luke Skywalker that took place around 10 or 11 years after the events of Return of the Jedi, where Luke was in his 30s in black Jedi robes, sitting down next to a young Ben Solo about the Force and the Jedi. It's described that the flashback would serve as a literal thought in Kylo Ren's mind when holding the Skywalker saber at the end of the film, before he is said to face Palpatine. Now, this scene was said to have been replaced with a Luke and Leia scene instead, to show the story of brother and sister over uncle and nephew in this particular sequence, where it's said that a young actor even played the part of young Ben Solo with Mark Hamill that was ultimately cut by Disney. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and why this is actually unfortunate. Now, I think that getting a glimpse into Ben Solo's early childhood, or his early life, if you will, before he was ever even a Jedi at that, would be a very good thing to see on the big screen and to at least get an idea of exactly, what his life was like with, of course, Luke, and what he thought about Luke in his early days, and what the relationship was like between himself and his father, Han Solo. And the fact that they are trying to shift it away from that to more Luke and Leia stuff, I don't have much of a problem with that per se. The only thing that I think that they should have done is they should have at least kept this sequence and just have done maybe like one Luke and Leia scene, or maybe two tops. There's actually said to be quite a handful of those flashbacks involving Luke and Leia, depending on which one they actually want to pretty much leave in the finalized version of the movie. But with that being said, when we have, of course, Mark Hamill in The Rise of Skywalker in the forms of flashbacks coming back as Luke Skywalker in the flesh, alive and well, I think that's basically going to be, the highlight of the movie, where we do get to see Luke Skywalker alive before he was dead, on the world of Octu and vanished into the sunset and became one with the Force. Now, with that being said, I will say that I'm really intrigued about this, because this is actually said to be a flashback that was planned for Kylo Ren while he's holding the Skywalker saber as he's about to face Emperor Palpatine / Darth Sidious, remembering about how he was so inspired about the Jedi and what the Jedi do. And this is where he actually recalls a lesson by Luke, where Luke gives young Ben Solo a lesson about the Jedi to inspire him, and that maybe one day he will become one. So this is said to be, Kylo Ren's moment, if you will, his chance to really serve himself as a Jedi, and to really act on, this growing evil that's attempting to take over the galaxy and to take over the unknown regions. Now, the reason as to why this was cut, not only was it because of the Luke and Leia scene, adding more substance to the movie, and kind of just giving that better theme of brother and sister and the overall Skywalkers, but this would have also been a great way to really kind of just, I guess you could say, make the whole entire Solo family a bit more understood, because right now, it's pretty much up in the air as to exactly what Ben Solo's childhood was like. Yes, we do know that he was neglected as a child, because Han Solo was always doing these races and smuggling and all that type of business, where Leia, his own mother, was all into politics, so Ben was always neglected, and he was always on his own, and that could very well be the reason as to why he looked up to his uncle Luke Skywalker at one point in time, and why he even accepted to become a part of his Jedi training temple. But it was Han and Luke who sent him there because of his dark side tendencies, which we still haven't really seen of or heard of in either the books or the novels, only like a handful, about what those dark side tendencies really were. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one from night to morning.